My mom always said love could fix anything. But she never said that her version of love included a convicted pedophile and a hard drive full of children's screams. When I found out she chose him over us, I didn't call her mom anymore. I called the cops. I found out my mom's amazing boyfriend, Uncle Alex, as we used to call him, was a convicted child predator who filmed his own crimes. When I confronted her, she laughed and said, "Those tapes paid for your summer camp." I didn't say a word. That was 3 weeks ago. Yesterday, I held my little sister Ellie while she cried as police dragged our mother out of the house in handcuffs that I used to think Alex was a godsend. After my dad passed when I was 10, I stopped expecting a father figure in my life. I became the man of the house. I studied hard, worked part-time at a bookstore, and took care of Ellie while mom worked nights. All I wanted was to one day make enough money to take care of mom so she wouldn't have to suffer anymore. And then came Alex. He was gentle, always had a smile, brought gifts, and after a few months, it felt like he was part of the family. He taught me how to ride a motorcycle. He helped Ellie with her math homework without ever yelling. Mom started glowing again. For once, we were peaceful, but the calm didn't last. I discovered Alex had a previous family in Ohio. He had a son, Ethan, just about my age. I didn't care. People make mistakes. I believed in second chances. That belief broke the day I got a message from Ethan on Facebook. He started by asking if I knew what kind of man Alex really was. I got defensive. I thought he was just bitter that his dad left him. I replied, "I know him better than you ever did, man." He didn't argue. He sent me a folder, court documents, sealed records, photos. At first, I ignored them, assuming they were fake. But then he messaged, "His real name is Marcus James. Look it up." My heart dropped. I opened the files. Everything aligned. The dates, the crimes, the video evidence. He had gone to prison for what he did to his wife and his 5-year-old son. And after prison, he changed his name. 6 months later, he met my mom. But the worst part? The files mentioned dozens of videos. Not from the dark web. Not from others. They were filmed by him. Children screaming, crying, including Ethan. I threw up right there on my desk. That was the man we welcomed into our home, into Ellie's life. Then the door creaked open. He saw my screen, saw the truth on my face. "I've changed," he said. "Please, I'm not that man anymore." But all I could see were the faces of his victims. I stood up and kicked him in the ribs. I remember the crunch. It was the only thing that felt real. That's when Mom came home. She shouted from downstairs, "Alex, I think he knows." She didn't know I was upstairs. Hearing that from her lips, it shattered me. When she came into my room and saw Alex on the floor, she didn't even flinch. "What happened?" she asked coldly. He groaned. "He knows. Everything." And then the mask fell off. In the living room, she poured him water, gave him pain pills like it was any other day. Then she turned to me. "How much do you know?" I said, "Enough. The court records, the videos, the prison time." She tried to gaslight me. Blamed Ethan. Said he was unstable. Said the videos were planted. That Alex was framed. But then I asked, "Did you know him before?" She hesitated. Then admitted, "We dated in college. Reconnected while he was in prison." Everything was a lie. The story of meeting at a grocery store. The jokes about spilled apples. All fiction. Not everything, she said, gripping his hand. "Alex has provided for us. Stability. Money. He's changed. He's a pedophile," I snapped. "And you brought him into our home, around Ellie." They froze. "Where is she?" I demanded. "She's safe," Mom replied. "She's with a friend. Nolan." I asked to speak to her. She called Nolan and put Ellie on speaker. Her voice sounded normal. "I'm at Uncle Nolan's cabin. Mom says it's a sleepover." "We didn't have an Uncle Nolan." After the call ended, I said, "You're both sick." I pulled out my neighbor's phone and dialed 911. Mom lunged. Alex tried to tackle me, but I dodged and screamed into the phone before they cut it off. "My name is..." Click that I reminded them. 911 always calls back on disconnects. The phone rang. Panic hit their faces. When the police said they'd come for a welfare check, Alex panicked. I used that moment to elbow him in his broken ribs, bolted out the front door, and sprinted into the freezing night that I didn't know where I was running. But I knew I had to find out. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I had to get to Ellie. The motel Mom mentioned, Pineview Inn, was 5 miles out by the highway. I was wearing socks. My feet were soaked. My lungs burned. I had no phone, no money, nothing. And then, I saw Mr. Kent. He was pulling his old blue Buick out of his driveway. I'd mowed his lawn last summer. I ran straight to his window, pounding on the glass. Mr. Kent, please. I need your help. It's Ellie, my sister. She's in danger. He rolled down the window. The car smelled like peppermints and cigarettes. Get in, he said without hesitation. As we drove, I told him everything. About Marcus, the videos, my mom, everything. Mr. Kent's hands gripped the steering wheel tighter. I always had a bad feeling about that man. The way he looked at the neighborhood kids. When we reached the Pineview Inn, I spotted the room, 112. Curtains drawn, TV light flickering. I told Mr. Kent to call the cops, right now, and I jumped out. I knocked on the door. Tried to sound casual. Towels from management. A gruff voice replied, "Didn't order any." "It's complimentary," I said, and as soon as I heard the chain slide, I kicked the door open. The man inside, Nolan, stumbled backward. The room stank of cigarettes and old fast food. Ellie sat on the bed with her Switch, confused. "Ellie, come on, we're leaving." She blinked at me. But Mom said. Mom lied. Nolan lunged toward me. I saw the glint of metal in his waistband. I tackled him. The knife went flying under the bed. We wrestled, but I had adrenaline on my side. I pinned him, yelling at Ellie to grab her things. She slipped on her shoes and clutched her backpack. The Velcro ripped loudly. As I backed out with her, Nolan hissed, "You have no idea what you're doing. They'll find you." "We'll see about that," I spat. We burst into the cold night air. Red and blue lights painted the parking lot. Police cars screeched in. Mr. Kent waved us over. We jumped into his back seat as two officers grabbed Nolan. He screamed some BS story. I didn't care. We were safe. "Drive," I begged Mr. Kent. "Shouldn't we stay?" "No, we're going straight to the station. It's not safe here." He nodded and hit the gas. Ellie held my hand, quiet, scared. I held hers tighter. At the police station, I saw a figure waiting. Ethan. My brother. He had already arrived. He looked older now, like he'd aged 10 years in 10 minutes. But his eyes softened when he saw us. "You made it," he said. We were taken inside and assigned to Detective Rivera. She listened patiently as I explained it all, from the first Facebook message to the motel. "These are serious accusations," she said calmly, "especially against your mother." Ethan pulled out a folder. "I have original court documents, victim statements, and dates that match everything." She nodded. "That helps. But we'll also need evidence from the house. Anything forged, hidden, anything they were using to cover their tracks." "There is," I remembered. Mom had fake appeal letters in a locked drawer. "We'll get a warrant," she said. Then, just when things felt calm again, the station doors slammed open. My mother stormed in. Behind her, Marcus limped in with a bandaged rib. "There they are," she screamed. "My children were kidnapped." Officers moved to block her. "Ma'am, calm down. Your children are safe." "No, that boy." She pointed at Ethan. "He's mentally unstable. He's obsessed with my husband." Detective Rivera stood. "Mr. Thompson, sorry, Marcus James, your fingerprints matched a prior conviction. Production and distribution of child pornography. You're under arrest. And you, Diane," she turned to my mom, "for harboring a fugitive and endangering minors." Handcuffs clicked. My mom looked at me with fire in her eyes. "You'll regret this," she mouthed. But I didn't. I felt nothing. No fear. No guilt. Just relief. That night, Detective Rivera said, "You boys will need protection, and Ellie needs a safe place. You're not 18 yet, so custody is tricky." Ethan stepped up. "I can take them. My apartment's small, but it's safe. I'll do whatever it takes." I looked at him, this stranger who turned out to be family, and nodded. Rivera nodded. "We'll start the process. For now, go get something to eat. You've earned it." Mr. Kent offered to take us to a diner nearby. Over warm pancakes and chocolate milk, Ellie looked up at me. "What's going to happen now?" I took a breath. "We'll start over. We'll be okay. We have each other." Ethan leaned in. "You saved her, man. You did what nobody else could." I looked at my little sister, her face sticky with syrup, smiling for the first time in days. And I realized something. I hadn't destroyed my family, I'd just finally found the real one. In the weeks that followed, things didn't magically get easier, but they got quieter. Ethan officially took legal guardianship over both me and Ellie. It wasn't easy, social workers, court hearings, background checks, but he never once backed down. He showed up. For both of us. Ellie started therapy. So did I. I remember our counselors saying, sometimes the people meant to protect us are the ones who do the most damage. But that doesn't mean you're broken. It means you survived. School felt strange. Everyone had heard something. Whispers in the hallway, stares in the lunchroom. I didn't care anymore. For the first time, I wasn't carrying a secret like a ticking time bomb in my chest. Ethan helped me set up a college fund. He even found part-time work I could do remotely, editing videos. Fitting, considering the kind of content that nearly ruined our lives. Now I was using it to rebuild mine. Ellie started smiling more, laughing again. She joined art club, drew comics of superheroes who looked a lot like us. Me, her, and Ethan. No capes, just survivors. As for Mom and Marcus, the trial made national news. Turns out, there were more victims, more evidence, more than anyone knew. They're both serving time now. Long time. The last time I saw her, she didn't say a word. She just looked at me through the glass. Like, but I don't. I owe everything to the people who stood by me. Mr. Kent, Ethan, and even Ellie, who never once asked me to be perfect, just to be there. And I am. People always say, blood is thicker than water. But here's what they forget. That's not the full quote. The real saying is, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the world. It means the family you choose is stronger than the one you're born into. And I choose them every single day. This isn't the story of how my family fell apart. It's the story of how I found the strength to build something better. And if you're watching this, and you're carrying a secret that's eating you alive, this is your sign. Speak up. Get out. Fight back. Because you deserve to be safe. You deserve to be free. And trust me, it's never too late to start over.